Why are we so attracted to stories? Why do stories move us to tears, change our attitudes, opinions, and behaviors, and even inspire us? And how do stories change our brains, often for the better? The first part of the answer is that, as social creatures who regularly affiliate with strangers, stories are an effective way to transmit important information and values from one individual or community to the next. Stories that are personal and emotionally compelling engage more of the brain, and thus are better remembered than simply stating a set of facts. There are two key aspects to an effective story. First, it must capture and hold our attention. The second thing an effective story does is transport us into the character's world. My hope is that my stories here capture your attention and transport you into these people's worlds. I introduce you now to Richard. He's in South Carolina at the moment to visit some family. He was more than enthusiastic to share his story, even though it had a very tragic ending. So the story goes, Richard's son, Daniel, was 23 years old at the time. It was October 2nd, which was Daniel's birthday. Daniel had called his dad with a surprise that morning. He said he wanted to come over and visit him so that they could spend some time together. By the time Richard got home, he had a chill come over him as he walked through his front door. He saw a dim light and heard nothing at all. It was so quiet that you could hear a pin dropping onto the ground. Daniel's arm was hanging off of Richard's couch, lifeless. He had shot up heroin into his arm and overdosed. He died that night on his birthday. A parent's worst dream came true. Now for a story with a much happier ending, we turn to Sarah. She's 32 years old, and she's here to buy a special type of kitten. Her story begins as a child. She doesn't remember much about her natural birth mother because, you see, she was adopted. Her adoptive parents are rather wealthy and own beachfront property. As far as money is concerned, she is all set. Her father's name is Lou, and he works as a CEO for a toy company, which I thought was really awesome. Sarah has no worries when it comes to finances. However, she does admit to having a lot of health issues. In fact, she has to take about 10 pills per day, otherwise she could be at risk of death. I did promise you a better ending, so I will say this. She has a bright future ahead of her, and a smile that warms your heart. Most of all, I could tell she has a good heart from the 20 minutes I spent talking with her. In fact, it is a happy ending because we decided to keep in touch and possibly even become friends. This is the beginning of our story.